So we just wanted to discuss a little bit about the Edinburgh environment. And gents, if I can throw it out to you, apart from great whiskey, why have you chosen to have your businesses in Edinburgh?
Well, for me, I live here. It's a natural place to do it. I'm not from Edinburgh. I'm originally from the West Coast, and through my life, I've studied at Paisley Tech, moved to Aberdeen, worked in the oil industry, and through that, moved down to Edinburgh, got into information security technology, and the range of applications, the number of businesses, and the source of talent round about to help build your business is just fantastic in Edinburgh.
I mean, in our case, I think the access, particularly as a financial services firm, to individuals that have experience, particularly, I think I mentioned my head of credit, and we have other credit individuals that are world class. You know, this is a city that has a lot of bankers, so from a financial services point of view, if you are dealing with customers in a fintech environment like that, then that's crucial. We're as good up here as we are down south. In the technology side of things, I mean, there is I think people talk about this on an ongoing basis, a struggle to get enough people. Potentially there's a gap there, but we've found that we've been able to augment our team by bringing in consultants, contractors, as we've required. So actually, if you can look and you're sort of part of the scene, I think you can actually find that, and there's plenty of help there. I mean, I also do live here, so I mean that does help. But I did live in London for 11 years, and quite frankly, I'd far rather be up here than down there. There's definitely an ecosystem down there that's much more advanced. You know, I suppose Silicon Roundabout and all these kind of things, but it is developing up here, and I see that as an outsider in all of that coming in. And really, over the last 2.5 years, getting involved in the startup scene, it is developing quickly.
Yeah, I think it's exciting. Is this working? It's exciting to see the tech community growing here, and it's nice to be a part of that. And I don't think you would get that in the same way as you would in London. So I think there's a real ambition now in Edinburgh, and that's been shown through the companies that are here, but also through the likes of Codebase, that it's been great to be a part of, and I know a number of us here are. And I don't know if it's been said already, but the new fund that Jamie Coleman just announced today, 150 million, aiming to be $1 billion. You know, I think things are just going to get really exciting here. Plus the university, what informatics are doing to bring, you know, people here in the first place, and hopefully we can retain those people and hire them. So.
Yeah, also, I think this is working. You know, so I've got to be careful on this question because I was at an Innovate Finance Roundtable a few months ago, and I was accused of being a cheerleader for Edinburgh. So I was getting very passionate and excited about all the virtues of the city. So as you can tell, I'm not a local. I've lived in Vienna, I've lived in London, Boston, and Edinburgh, and like you, Stuart, I just think it's a brilliant place to live. So I think it's quite easy as a sell in terms of a city and a lifestyle, which is quite an important thing, particularly now. I think we're beginning for the first time that I can remember beginning to see talent from London. Stuart is a good example of that, but also software developers, data scientists actually relocating from London to Edinburgh because they might be thinking about family and it's a much more affordable place to live. So I think you can't underestimate the human elements. But I think from a commercial perspective as well, you know, I think Scotland has something like 1 in 200 people in the European population, that has 1 in 20 of Europe's or the world's unicorns. So you see, it's kind of, well, you know, Skyscanner and Fangible. But you know, what that speaks to is the, you know, breadth of engineering talent that wouldn't normally exist in a city this small. And I mean, the way I kind of view it is it's a brilliant community that's small enough to be a genuine community, but big enough to make a dent on the world stage. And I think that's what's really exciting about Edinburgh.
Just quickly, I've got somebody starting with me on Monday, actually, who's come from a financial publication in London, specialist investment publication online. He is relocating up here because he sees it as being a good place to live. He sees us as an exciting business to be part of, and we need his skills because he's genuinely got understanding of investment classes, of being able to position, say, peer-to-peer. I mean, one of the things that I think the sector's done very badly up until now is actually positioning peer-to-peer against other types of asset class and returns, risk, return, whatever. And so I've brought that guy up from London to do that, and he's very excited about joining us. That's one aspect. I think if I may quickly mention as well, I mean, there are always lots of moans about the infrastructure in terms of the support mechanisms around Scotland. We've actually had a very positive experience. Scottish Enterprise SIB, I've done 2 deals with them in the last, over the summer. One for the lending deal, one also for our first external round, which we did a 1.5 plus. It's still sort of tranche 2 has just been done at the moment, so if anybody's interested, we've got a little bit of EIS available. We will have done a 1.5 million raise on top of the similar amount that Bill and I put in originally into the business. That has the ability to go to SIB and Scottish Enterprise, not just for cash, but for support and for, I think they've taken, it's an innovative deal that we've done on the lending side particularly. Then the grant structure, we've been lucky enough to put forward certain projects that have helped us in terms of doing work that would have taken longer to do. We've been able to accelerate that work, again, as a result of being able to work with our account manager and the structures in place there. So I think that is very important.
Well, that opens the question. You've raised that the government's very supportive up here, which I've noticed as well in the short time that I've been up here. But what do you think are the keys to push Edinburgh and keep this going so that we can have more Sky scanners and more like free agent and what do you think, guys? What's the key?
Well, I think, with the recent Skyscanner exit, I think that's going to see a lot of, I don't know exactly how much, but I know there's a lot of people that have made a bit of money out of that. And hopefully those people are going to, not just a couple, but actually, hundreds of people. And hopefully they're going to be coming out and investing that money in startups. I think the SCIS, EIS schemes make that really attractive. And people are looking to invest. And, we're raising a funding round at the moment. And 4 of those people have just recently exited out of startups from Scotland. So, it's exciting to be, it's not another level removed of people that, have once made some money in property fund. It's actually tech companies are exiting already. And I think as that begins to happen, the network grows and it becomes much easier.
Just to add to that point, this is one thing I think has been acknowledged is the lack of non-executive or calibre of decent non-execs that really add value on boards, and hopefully as a byproduct of not just money but also experience that we'll see. Like maybe that's 10 years away, but that's pretty exciting.
Fantastic. Well, gents.
So sort of why Edinburgh? What do we need to do to keep Edinburgh at the forefront? So one point, just as a quick aside, is one of our non-execs is a chap called John Levine, who's a serial entrepreneur, has a range of different businesses, mainly in insurance tech actually, but really impressive guy. And he has been overwhelmed by the support we get from SE. So anyone from SE, thank you so much. That actually he asked me, he said, what do you need to do to set up a business in Scotland and in Edinburgh? So he's actively thinking about for his next venture, even though he's based in London and has operations globally, possibly locating his next venture in Edinburgh because of the support we get from the public sector, which is phenomenal. It's a huge unfair advantage.
All right, well, thank you, gentlemen.